Shellen says, what did you think of the different portrayal of Thrawn's character between Legends, Canon, and Rebels? We talked about it a little bit, but...
You would know the Legends side maybe more, because I don't know necessarily how he was portrayed in Heir to the Empire as well.
I feel like in the canon books, he is a little more... what's the right word? Not heroic, but he's not just a Nazi screw-up.
Okay.
You know, like a lot of the Empire is...
yeah, for sure.
I mean, in Heir to the Empire, he was Imperial, you know, the best of the Empire, you know, like, but still a villain, a force that Luke Skywalker and our friends have to fight against, you know?
Sure.
And I know that that's what we're going to get in Ahsoka, right? I mean, they have Rosario Dawson say, like, he is the heir to the Empire for a reason. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm also perfectly happy with characters flowing through the lens of different artists to not always be carbon copies of each other. You know, what does Timothy Zahn have to say about Thrawn?
Sure.
What does Dave Filoni have to say about Thrawn? Those don't have to. You don't have to pick. It could be both.
It could be both.
It could be
sure.
both.
No, I mean, I love Thrawn because he's like. Now for me, I feel like he is Tarkin, but not where he just feels like
Without the ego.
super ego evil.
Yeah.
Right? Like Thrawn feels like a capable leader, but he's also very overconfident, right? And he's willing to kill whoever, do whatever. Like he has no qualms about any of that. Now Thrawn doesn't quite feel that way. Like he will let people escape and he will do all this, which was also, man, I forgot about this until just now. There's a time, and I thought it was interesting too, talking about Thrawn and talking about Tarkin, where there is an argument / discussion they have off book at some point, and the lead stormtrooper guy and Rook foil a Grisk escape.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And Thrawn's like, I told you we should have told people about this. And he's like, no, we couldn't have. It needed to seem real for them to escape so they could follow them and stuff. And I was like, man, that's just like A New Hope, right? Like all these stormtroopers chasing after Han Solo, trying to get him, like, catch that guy, you know? And Vader's like, yes, please escape, but don't tell anyone. You know, so he's just risking all his men. So many people were dying for this. And I was like, that's a Vader move, but it wasn't a Thrawn move. And that's the difference. Tarkin and Vader, I think, are both okay with that and risking their soldiers, whereas Thrawn's more like he's going to try to save all of his men. And there's like a respect, I think, that he has with his men that a lot of maybe commanders don't have.
I agree. And that part of him I don't see in Rebels, you know?
Sure, I get what you mean.
I'm not saying it's not there.
Yeah.
It's just not featured.
I feel like you have some kind of loyalty from Rook, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
That is there, but you don't quite get it from all the rest of them. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. The thing you really get out of that is like you feel like he is definitely competent in Rebels.
Oh,
and
100%.
so many other Imperial officers are just fools.
Yeah,
right?
dude.
Those
like,
two guys in like the first opening, like the first episode, like trying to get the fruit and stuff, and then they get killed later on and stuff.
Admiral Constantine.
Constantine, like
Admiral Constantine.
We see them fumble so much stuff, but Thrawn often lets people go, and he'll just watch. But it's usually the other people's fault and the other people's reasons as to why they're getting out and escaping and stuff.
And that pairs well with like, you know, with Eli and with Pharaoh. Like he also, if you have like if you have the will to learn and to try to improve yourself, he will do that for you. He will be the kind of leader that like, yeah, I love that part with Pharaoh. He's like, there it is. And Pharaoh's like, what? I didn't see anything. He's like, 2 things. Did you notice them? And she goes, no. And he's like, you did. He just waiting for her to catch up with them.
What were they?
But like he's making her better.
Yeah.
He made Eli better. And like Vader doesn't do that.
No, Vader doesn't.
He leaves you dead and hopes the better person comes along.
I wish I would have read these books before rewatching through Rebels with the kids. And then I could have like seen if there was contextualization that's different to me after reading the books. Because we have Price in the last book, the first one, and he's very patient with her, I feel like, through Rebels, even though she flubs a lot.
Hard.
You know? But he gives her, I think, a lot of chances and talks about, like...
she blows up, like...
At the end.
Yeah, she blows up everything, and he's like...
You ruined my TIE Defender program.
What the hell? You ruined it. And then space whales.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how you account. He always is foiled by like something that like I
Yeah.
couldn't account for. Weird mushroom antlered force creature. Right?
I mean, the Bendu said you will be wrapped up in the arms of,
Yeah. But he couldn't account for like big old tentacle space whales coming and
Nope.
getting him.
Yeah.
So, but as far as like how they're connected between this book and Rebels, like I want to rewatch Rebels, but for me, I feel like it feels like it's still Thrawn.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's like, oh, man, they've ruined the character, or
Sure.
like this guy's so different. I just feel like we're seeing his growth, and possibly, and especially going to the next book, maybe we're seeing him really embrace the Empire. Maybe that's why we get a kind of a different, more ruthless Thrawn. Perhaps.
I mean, Yoda
later.
in the original trilogy and Yoda in the prequels. I mean, we like to be like, oh, there's good old Yoda, but like in terms of like his actual mindset, what he does, how he feels, how he has people around him react, he's very different. When the prequels were coming out, there was a lot of stuff like that where people were like, this doesn't match the original trilogy. And I kind of feel the same way when we're looking at like the comic novels, the TV shows, and then
Sure.
what's going to be coming. It's like those are just growing pains, and
Sure.
20 years from now, no one's ever going to even think about it.
And I think like we can see we can have a character change, but I also want to feel like I understand why they're different. So as long as we get that, if they don't feel like they're super consistent with each other, I want to be able to understand why, especially going into Ahsoka, like seeing a live action version, because now we're going to have a book form, a cartoon form, and now a live action form, and I really want to get to why I feel like it's all one person, and not like, well, they just feel like they're different because they were written by different people or whatever. So hopefully it's done well, and I enjoy all that. But so far, with not having Heir to the Empire, I still feel like these are all the same Thrawn so far.
I agree.
So,
Just different timelines, Legends and Canon.
yeah.